Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Flossers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for our weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right everybody, the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies, and we start with comic books. We got some exciting news. First of all, a 12-issue miniseries is coming from Marvel very soon called Old Man Hawkeye. That's right, this is a direct prequel to Mark Millar and Steve McNiven's Old Man Logan. In my opinion, probably the greatest Wolverine story ever told in comic book form, absolutely in my opinion. But it's going to be a 12-issue series. It stars Old Man Hawkeye, who of course was the sidekick to Old Man Logan in the Old Man Logan book. It is going to be written by Ethan Sachs. I'm not familiar with any comic book work from him, but he's been a long-time reporter for the Daily News, with art by Marco Checchetto. Checchetto's been doing amazing stuff on some of the Star Wars books, like the Captain Phasma book out right now. This guy has amazing artwork, gorgeous colors, really cool stuff. So at least artistically, this book is going to be very rad. So kind of looking forward to that. I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Also, Marvel Legacy was out this weekend. We do a weekly comic book review here, and one thing I have learned about you guys that follow us here at PCP, a lot of you guys were very unimpressed with Marvel Legacy, and that's fair, and I do understand how it can be underwhelming. Me being a huge FF fan, I was really excited about it. I love the attempt that Marvel is making to own their mistakes and move on forward, and to maybe recognize that some of the mistakes weren't really mistakes, but I was kind of excited about it. But one of the intriguing things that came out of it was the idea that there is a new character who has been inserted into Avengers history. This character is called Voyager, revealed recently in an interview by editor Tom Brevoort as being Valerie Vector, the most important Marvel character that you don't remember. It vaguely smells of the Sentry to me. You remember they did the Sentry? It's a big April Fool's joke, and they said that Stan Lee and I think Bill Everett had somebody else had created this character back in the day, and nobody remembers him, and they never used him, and they inserted him back in. It turned out to be just a big April Fool's joke, but led to a really cool book by Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee, and a really cool character that was really well utilized in Brian Michael Bendis' early Avengers work, and of course Dark Avengers as well. So it kind of smells a little bit like that, or smells a little bit like that. So it's a character that's been inserted. It's going to be different. It's going to be weird. We shall see exactly who this Voyager character is going to be. They say there are some hints in Marvel Legacy, especially on the lenticular cover in the background. You see her there on the statue with the rest of the founding Avengers. Another important thing about this cover I want to point out, or this ad that's on the back of the lenticular Marvel Legacy. If you didn't get a hold of that one, I don't think you got to see this. But look at the lightning coming from the statue of Thor, the Mjolnir, hitting Jane Foster's Mjolnir, and then it's like an entity there. That's interesting. Is that the entity that's in Mjolnir? Because we know Mjolnir's actually got some kind of storm entity in it. Is this the power that one of the final hosts, that the final host will take? I don't know. We shall see. I did a Marvel Legacy video recently, and I kind of think that the final host is the final host of all of these different legacy powers from Marvel, but whatever. Avengers, starting in January with issue 675, is going to go weekly, at least for 16 weeks, to tell the story called No Surrender. It's basically like Earth has been hijacked and taken from its natural place in the universe, sent somewhere else. It's definitely going to be neat, and it's going to involve Thor, Thanos, and the Black Order, which makes a lot of sense because they're in the new Avengers movie. So there you go. Tom King, Jason Fabok have gotten to Twitter, and both of them have shared black and white images for a secret upcoming project, obviously a DC project, and Bleeding Cool ran a really cool speculative report saying that this might be a Rorschach series. And if you look at the artwork, it does kind of make sense, because last time we saw Rorschach in The Watchmen, he had been completely blown up and obliterated by Dr. Manhattan. Were they in Antarctica, or they were in the Arctic? I think they were in Antarctica. But anyway, snow-covered area. He got blown up. If you look at the images, you see like a disembodied hand amongst a lot of snow coming back to life. So I think it's Rorschach too. I think Bleeding Cool did a really cool idea there. I think they have a cool idea there. I think that might be it. Movies, TV, what's going on this week? Not too much, but some interesting things for comic book fans. Amazon is going to develop a series based on Lazarus, the Image comic from Greg Rucka and Michael Lark. Lazarus is a really, really cool book about a world in the not too distant future, and now the biggest crime families dominate and rule at least the Western Hemisphere, and it's really, really cool. And Lazarus is like a bodyguard, protector, cyborg type thing. Really neat stuff about AI and about society. Lazarus is a really cool book. If you want to check it out, Book One, link down below. Check it out on Amazon at a great price. Help support PCP. It's a good show, so congratulations to Rucka and Lark. They're well-deserved. Absolutely. I hope they treat Lazarus better than they treated Whiteout Homie. Sci-Fi, speaking of comic book series ordered by networks and other things, Sci-Fi has ordered a Deadly Class pilot. Very, very exciting. Deadly Class is an amazing comic book from Image Comics. It's basically like Harry Potter, but for, instead of magicians, like assassins and just people, assassins and the mafia and just stone cold killers and the worst of the worst go to Deadly Class to become how to be even better at being terrible. Does that make sense? It's written by Rick Remender with artwork, amazing artwork by Wes Craig. Seriously excited for this. Odd that it's on Sci-Fi Channel. I don't really see it as too much of a sci-fi story, but Deadly Class is great if you want to check it out. Book One down below, just like Lazarus. An Amazon link. Help support PCP. Get the book at a great price. That's pretty much all I got this week. It's kind of light. Plus, the Cowboys are playing the Rams right now. I got to get back to that game. But I did finally watch It, the new It, this movie, and I will say that I was underwhelmed. I thought that the kids had great performances. I thought the cinematography was great. I feel like they tried too hard with Pennywise. I feel like they tried too hard to make him scary, to make him look scary, and way too much CG and too much just and stuff like that. I don't know. I know that the 1990 It miniseries doesn't really hold up the best, but I think it had a better script. I would like to see that script done by the people who did the new movie, but keep Tim Curry, right? I mean, from back in the day. I don't know. There was something... I liked the early one better, but it also might have something to do with the fact that I was 9, 10 years old when it came out. I watched it, scared the crap out of me, and I loved it. And I've been obsessed with the story of It for a very, very long time. Now, I do hear, because I haven't read the book, that there's more from the book in this new movie, and that's neat and everything. But to me, it was just a little too much CG. They tried a little too hard to scare us. Never really quite got hooked into the characters the way I did in 1990. So that's just how I feel. Also, last week I briefly mentioned that Star Trek Discovery was debuting. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Loved it, especially as a Star Trek fan. It's so good. I'm so happy to have Star Trek back on television in the original timeline. You know, not the Kelvin timeline or anything like that, but the original Star Trek back on TV. It's been over 10 years. I really liked it. Thought the characters were cool. Thought it looked brilliant. There were some moments here and there that I didn't really like, but I am totally down. $6 a month with commercials. I would pay that for the rest of my life for a new Star Trek show ongoing. Absolutely. So that's how I felt about that. I really liked Discovery. Homie John, Hammer Time that he is, loves Orville. We may be doing a video soon kind of comparing and contrasting the two. So that's kind of interesting. What do we have upcoming here at PCP? Well, the long-promised 90s animation podcast will be out at some point this week, I promise. Right? It's going to be out. It's kind of cool. It's a fun show. It was great. But then we are going full on Halloween time, because it is October 1st, Halloween time here at Pop Culture Philosophers and Huntsville Attic. Straight up, we got the PCP 70s Horror Movies podcast coming out very, very soon. The Rockin' with Rockin Robbie Haunted Halloween Super Spooktacular 6th Annual Halloween Special. That's very, very exciting. That was a super fun show. And we got PCP Movie Night Horror Fest rolling on through. We're about to start this week with Night of the Living Dead in honor of George A. Romero, who we sadly lost this year. So that's what we got coming up, PCP. Let me know what you thought about any of these bits of news or anything else in the comments down below, especially the Old Man Hawkeye thing and the Avengers Weekly. Are you excited about that? By the way, the Avengers Weekly will be written by Mark Waid, Jim Zub, and Al Ewing, I believe. So, pretty decent creative team. We shall see what happens. Thanks for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I do this most every week, and we also have a weekly comic book review. No stopping that one, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Actually, the weekly comic book review this week will be celebrating its 1-year anniversary. 1 year, every week, comic book reviews. Lots of comic book stuff. Thank you guys so much for the support. Just recently crossed 900, on our way to 1,000. Share, share, share. Help us get there. Big contest when we do. Seriously, from the bottom of all of our hearts here at PCP, thank you for your support. Thanks for rocking with us, and keep on doing you.